This video will contain spoilers for Halloween Ends, so if you haven't seen it, don't. Oh, Halloween. My favorite holiday of the year, and my favorite movie series. We've come a long way from the first movie. I'm going to attempt to explain this movie, so just use your imagination and join me as I talk about the worst Halloween movie. 1963 to 2022, Michael has been chasing the same girl for 44 years. So none of you guys have any excuses. Get on the grind, boys. So last time we were with our boy Michael, he got his shit kicked in from the locals. But mama didn't raise no bitch, so he killed all of them and Lori's daughter. I can't remember her name. I think it's Karen? I'll just call her generic white woman number 57. For some reason, she goes back into the Myers house and gets herself killed, so a waste of a character. The beginning of Halloween Ends. What the f is that beginning? I thought they put in the wrong movie at first. The music seems very out of place, and it's a radio station run by some guy named Willie the Kid, or I don't know. We jump a year later in 2019 where Halloween Ends takes place. We get introduced to Corey, the babysitter, and oh boy am I conflicted with this guy. He's babysitting the average Dream fan, so nothing really to note here, but they're watching an actual good movie, The Thing, 1982. The average Dream fan kid, I think it's Jeremy? Anyways, he hurts Corey's feelings, so Corey goes and gets chalky milk. Jeremy decides to try and scare Corey and locks him in the attic. Corey pisses his pants and game ends the child.
What was that?
Corey gets arrested and title screen. Three years later, Lori gives a monologue about moving on, and she lives with her granddaughter now. She is writing a book about her trauma. How brave. Corey now works at a scrapyard with Ronald, his mom's boyfriend, I guess? Anyways, Daddy gives him a bike that is crucial to the plotline. The granddaughter, I think her name's Allison. I don't know. I'm not really invested in any of these characters, so Allison gets pulled over and has an uncomfortable conversation with the ex-cop boyfriend. Michael now lives in a sewer apparently because his theme plays while the camera pans through the tunnel. He a little stinky. Corey once again gets chalky milk and gets bullied by high schoolers. Everyone knows underage drinking is cool. Mama Lori comes in and saves the day. They pop the high schoolers' tires, and Lori takes Corey to the hospital, and Allison already wants to lay mad pipe. The doctor is a dick for no reason to Allison. Oh yeah, I should probably mention that Allison is now a nurse, since the 4-year time skip gap. I personally hate the 4-year gap, but whatever. Blah blah blah, filler stuff happens. Main kid from the high schoolers that beat up Corey takes the car with his dad to the scrapyard and notices Corey. More filler again. Random lady is being a dick to Lori for no reason because apparently it's Lori's fault Michael got loose, even though Lori was preparing for years. Everyone in this movie is a dick for no reason to Lori and Corey. Allison and Corey go to a Halloween party. A cool Easter egg in this scene is that Corey gets flashed by the original actor for Michael, Nick Castle. Allison and Corey have a good time. Corey runs into the mother of the dead kid from the beginning of the movie. Awkward. Corey cries and runs away again, gets jumped by the high schoolers again, and dies. Okay, he doesn't, but Pennywise, I mean Michael drags Corey into the tunnel. Corey wakes up and finds the exit, but gets grabbed by Michael. It takes 40 minutes for the main antagonist to finally show up in the movie. The main attraction for this series. Anyways, Michael almost chokes Corey out, but looks deeply in his eyes and falls in love with him, so he lets him go. I'm guessing this is Corey's rebirth, getting some of Michael's evil within or something like that. Corey then gets spooked by an old hobo who kindly asks him to get his mask back from Michael. So he does what any rational person does and stabs the hobo to death. Now granted, there is an argument that it was self-defense, but you know, one stab would have been enough. He just kept stabbing him and stabbing him. Corey goes home and cleans up. He looks in the mirror and the audience can tell he's going Joker mode.
I'm the Joker, baby.
More filler again. Allison gets cucked from her promotion. We get a Halloween 1 reference. Laurie's spider sense goes off and is put off by Corey. Corey explains his tragic backstory to Allison at the house where he committed manslaughter. Laurie visits Corey's mother and she is a dick for no reason. Corey and Allison have a lovely dinner together, and the ex-cop boyfriend tries to cuck Corey. But like a gentleman, Corey stands up for women's rights and puts the beta male in his place. The cop gets scared and goes back to his buddies. After dinner, the ex-cop boyfriend follows Corey back to the underpass where the tunnel is nearby. Corey tries to suffocate the cop but fails, so he lures him into the tunnel. The cop gets jumped by Michael, but Michael is too weak from carrying the franchise, so Corey has to help him. After knocking down the cop, Corey wants Michael to show how he kills. So like true best friends, they kill the cop together. Corey goes to see Allison because he got so horny from killing that cop. Laurie is watching the house from the outside, and Michael is watching Laurie. The next day, Corey grabs his scarecrow mask that he wore at the Halloween party. Allison's co-worker talks about Allison and Corey being together, and this angers Allison. The next scene, Laurie is at a bar, explains she can see Michael in Corey's eyes, and for some reason the dad from the beginning of the movie of that dead kid is at the same bar. The dad explains that he wanted to see if Corey did mean to kill his son, but he got spooked by Corey and drove away. We then get to see Allison's co-worker at an expensive house that the doctor owns. Sometime later, the woman finds Corey stabbing at the doctor. She tries calling 911, but Michael stabs her and hangs her on the wall. Halloween 1 reference. More filler again. Corey and Allison run into Willie the Kid, the radio host that has been in the movie. I didn't mention him because he really isn't that important. So something that I've been neglecting to mention is that Corey and Allison have been talking about leaving Haddonfield. I only bring this up because in this scene, Allison agrees that they should both leave. When Corey returns home, Corey's mother's waiting for him. She slaps him for being out so late and for hanging out with another woman. And for some reason, she kisses him on the lips.
Okay.
Corey is then kicked out of his home, so he sleeps in the house where he committed manslaughter. Laurie is in the house with him, and they both are butthurt and want Allison's attention. Laurie pulls a Michael and disappears. Corey calls Allison and tells her that they'll leave Haddonfield at 9 p.m. and they'll meet at the diner when they were having their lovely dinner. Corey crawls back into Michael's tunnel and struggles with him to steal his mask. Somehow he manages to overpower Michael. I'll just chalk it up that Michael is weak from the beating from 4 years ago, but I'm basically grasping at straws at this point. Corey scratches up the car that the same group of high schoolers own, and they follow Corey back to the scrapyard. Laurie and Allison get into a fight, blah blah blah. Corey dons the Michael mask and kills them all. The main leader of the high school group gets it the worst by getting his face burnt to a crisp. Oh, Ronald died too, lol. Corey goes home and kills his mother with a kitchen knife. Next up is Willie the Kid. Corey kills some random lady and Willie. Allison is at the diner waiting for Corey. She gets a call from Laurie but doesn't answer. Allison drives up to Corey's house but no answer. Back to Laurie again. She makes her way upstairs and she looks really down and takes a revolver out of a safe. Makes a 911 call reporting a suicide and basically gets ready to go through with it. She shoots the pumpkin and tells Corey, "Did you really think I'd kill myself?" Corey gets shot 3 times and falls downstairs.
Did you really think I'd kill myself?
Real quick, I like to talk about this whole scene. Jamie Lee Curtis did an amazing job, and I honestly thought that Laurie was gonna off herself. Laurie has basically lost everyone in her life, and Allison is the only one left. We haven't seen Laurie hit rock bottom, and this was probably what she thought her only way out was. But on the other hand, we had 2 movies with this Laurie showing that she is a badass grandma, and that suicide really seems out of character for her, so I should have known better. But the direction with this movie is so messy, I had no idea where we were going. Anyways, back to this shit show. Laurie basically flexes on Corey, and he gets so mad that he game ends himself. For some reason, Laurie grabs the knife out of his neck, and Allison conveniently walks in to see her boy toy dead. Allison storms off and leaves Laurie alone in the house. Michael then sneaks in, grabs his mask and knife, but oh no, Corey is alive somehow. Anyways, Michael gets so fed up that he realizes that he's an independent killer and he needs no man, so he basically snaps Corey's neck. Allison then gets a call that a suicide was called at her house. Meanwhile, Laurie prepares for the last fight with Michael by putting in a meal in a microwave. How wholesome. Blah blah blah, fight happens. Laurie gets her fingers chopped off by a garbage disposal. Michael gets stabbed and stuck to a kitchen table. Laurie takes off his mask and cuts his throat. We all know that this isn't it, so Michael chokes Laurie and Halloween 1 flashbacks. Allison comes to save Laurie, and Laurie slits Michael's wrist. The amount of blood this man has lost. Jesus. So they think he isn't dead enough, so they strap Michael's body onto Allison's car and make their way to the scrapyard. The whole town, I guess, shows up, and Laurie throws Michael's body into a grinder. His body gets crushed, and that's it for him. 44 years just to be thrown in a grinder. Anyways, the movie wraps up by having Allison move out of Haddonfield, Laurie still writing her book, blah blah blah, cherry blossoms, and Halloween 1 ending shots. Laurie, for some reason, keeps Michael's mask, and Don't Fear the Reaper plays as the end credit music. And that's the movie. Holy shit, what a mess. This movie had so many concepts that they never followed through with any of them. At the beginning of the movie, I thought Corey was going to be the new Michael. I know that sounds dumb, but he was literally wearing a mechanic jumpsuit and was basically a mini Michael throughout the movie. He even looks a little bit like him from Halloween 1. I thought they were going to pass the torch to Corey and have Allison as his Laurie. You know, his obsession. But I guess that fell through. And Michael didn't even do shit in this movie. He had help killing that one cop, the lady from the hospital, and Corey. They nerfed Michael hard in this movie. 3 kills versus 9 kills that Corey did. I'm not counting Ronald because lol. While I'm at it, what happened to Laurie's vengeful attitude towards Michael? 2 movies straight, she had a one-track mind to end Michael. I know that's what got her daughter killed, and she's trying her best to let go of the past. However, Laurie seemed so dismissive in this movie. What happened to the badass grandma in 2018? I can get that they were trying to do something new with this movie, but it just doesn't make any sense, and it just trips over itself. If they wanted to make me feel bad about the townspeople for going through this horror, maybe next time don't have everyone be a complete dick about it. Both Laurie and Corey had no control over what happened and how it affected everyone. This movie is just a big dumpster fire, and I don't recommend watching it. I give it a 4 out of 10, and that's being generous. I did see people pointing out that this is kind of like the original trilogy of Halloween, where it's Halloween 1 and the next movie takes place the same night and basically at a hospital, and the third one is completely different. But to me, that just seems like lazy writing. Like, that's a big no-no for me. And it doesn't help that this movie has the same font as Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Halloween did end until Hollywood wants more money. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. I was just so disappointed in theaters that I went home and immediately wrote a script for this video. Please support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, and perhaps sharing this video to a friend. Also, leave a comment what you think of Halloween Ends. Go follow my social media, the link will be in the description below. And check out my other videos too. Happy Halloween, guys.